Alrighty guys, version 44, it's here. Welcome to a patch review video. I am Sylphin part 1. We're doing the overview, heroes, cards, and gems. Amazon is the tried and true way of shopping for anything you need or want at the lowest prices. Support the channel at no cost to you by doing your Amazon shopping through the link in the video description. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that. It is so hyped, I can't handle it. Oh, let's get right into this. So guys, the overview part, the jungle, new power awaits those who enter it. I'm sure you saw the huge rework of the jungle, the new camps, making it more open so that people can kind of see around. New objectives and a new layout. A new buff focused on enabling aggression has been added to the off-lane jungle. The black buff, granting vision of enemies around the hero and causing basic attacks to slow enemy heroes. Absolutely insane. Not only can the offlaner grab this to help himself with, you know, maybe winning a 1v2, but the jungler can get that and be very effective in rotating and ganking. The Raptors have been replaced by Fangtooth, a tough enemy who grants a series of permanent bonuses to the team who defeats him. More on that in part 2 of this patch overview. Finally, all of the mini camps have been redesigned to give junglers better vision. Hope you guys noticed that. And the jungle will receive more updates in the future. This is just part of it. Go and check out the video that you guys are seeing. Look at it more in depth. 5 heroes have been reworked. Feng Mao, he's been adjusted basically to be a true brawler. Like, he's a brawler. He has some tankiness with his shield, but he can definitely deal some good damage now. He'll also, Grux, he even more so. He's a slow, powerful, fighting, basically high damage dealer. He doesn't have his dash anymore, and we'll look into that later. We saw Rampage also reworked, slightly more of a tank, and Gideon with those 2 meteors now. Twinblast, really new cool clip mechanic. It's looking pretty darn sick, guys. Again, the HUD has been completely changed, and I honestly think it looks really sharp. Galactic Raider Grux, this is a fantastic skin for any Grux mains, and you know what? Maybe there's some lore with it. Who knows? Norgud Pillar, a little bit of lore here with Narbash, where his tribe, you know, commemorates their victories over another hated tribe, the Nimrud tribe. So something I didn't notice right off the start is that it's going to be released not tomorrow but on Wednesday. That really makes me sad, but hey, we'll see that. I think what that's going to do is also give a little bit more time for Shadow's Eve to happen. And November 1st, it's not October, it's not Shadow's Eve, so maybe that's okay. Aurora, her cryoseism is now cleansable by cards and gems, as it honestly really should be. Yes, she's meant to kind of be a very high positional card, hero that just kind of, she does her thing and you're punished, but You know, you just can't have mechanics have that sort of exception to it. So Cryoseism is now is now cleansable by cards and gems. Crunch. I just did a, you know, top whatever heroes that should receive reworks video. Please go check it out. I think I have some pretty cool ideas, and I say that his animations just need to be sped up, period, or be based off of attack speed, which would be a very interesting mechanic. Maybe that's just an impossible, I don't know, but they've increased the animation speed. He'll be much more able to kind of do his combo. Yeah, on Legacy, it was kind of hard to get, you know, to get the whole rotation off before somebody just walked away from you. On Monolith, if you don't have Plague Lord, you basically couldn't. You couldn't weave your basic attacks between your combo. You just have to did your combo, and even then most people could escape before you got your third ability off anyways. This really gonna help with his viability. Now Drongo, just a little thing where his rad rounds damage wasn't shown on damage recap. Hey, they'll just make it a little bit more clear. Feng Mao, in my opinion, has been made more into a brawler, a true brawler. He goes in, deals some damage, and maybe he's able to escape. Sort of elusive, little bit tanky with his shield, but he's in my opinion can be able to deal a lot of damage. And you know what? Yeah, maybe you can build him tanky, but I think, in my opinion, he's more meant to be a brawler now. Deals damage with a little bit of sustain. His new ability is Crippling Strikes, and this replaces his Hamstring, his AoE whirl around, because it's an interesting passive. After 4 successful hits or 20 seconds, so there is the kind of burst potential without having to build it up through basic attacks. Feng Mao's blade will glow, which will be nice because you'll actually see when it's active. His next basic attack will deal damage in a wider arc, so just a wider cleave, and apply a 20, 23, 26, 29% movement speed slow for 2 seconds. 30% movement speed decrease? That sounds pretty darn strong in the early game. Maybe not too much. Maybe that's just an extra basic or two before somebody can run away from you. That does definitely add to his whole kind of maybe bursty dive in, deal some damage, and maybe get out with your shield. Dealing damage with abilities will also trigger the slow, however, so there's going to be some good wombo combo potential with Feng Mao in his entire kit. His arm will now show effects based on his number of stacks, so maybe it'll start glowing more and more, or go up farther. His arm will start to glow farther up the more stacks you have, something like that. Adjusted the blade glow to indicate a new state of passive effect, as it says up here, and it replaces Hamstring. You know what? Maybe this is okay, because there's the replacing an active for a passive that has an interesting mechanic in it is not too bad, because you have to pay attention to, is this up, or do I need to build it? You know, do I need to build this and rely on not having that movement speed slow, or do I have it? So you still have to kind of really think about this ability, if it's on or not. So it's not that bad for losing an active, in my opinion. Reworked Imperial Sentence, formerly his Earth Shatter or his ultimate. Feng Mao slams his blade on the ground, dealing ability damage to all all enemies in a line in front of him, equal to 150, 275, 400 plus power rating. Why is that third one so huge? I'm not sure. He will execute heroes below a health threshold of 300, 425, 550 plus power rating. Executable heroes are marked with a special visual effect, as you see in the video. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. 400 plus power rating, plus you're able to execute. I mean, this makes me think he's kind of a dive in, dive out sort of brawler. Almost pseudo assassin-y. I'm kind of changing my opinion, but very, very crazy. You know, we'll just have to see how that plays out. Improved visual effects on stairs and slopes, and the movement is no longer blocked while in the air, and the ability is now cast upon activation. You just simply click it, and boom, it goes. His reaping dash has also been changed, and it now automatically causes Feng Mao to basic attack his targets when he lands, dealing an additional 45, 70, 75, 120% bonus damage. It's kind of what you did anyways, and there wasn't much execution to it. You just click to your button. So it kind of makes sense that it's just all wrapped into one. Makes it simple. I mean, you do it anyways. There's really no difference whether you click a button or it does it automatically. Like, that's what you did anyways. Adjusted teleport to hug ground whenever possible. Range increased just a wee bit. Maybe it did seem a little bit short, but the potential of it was pretty crazy. So we'll have to see how that works. Cooldown reduced from 10 seconds to 8 seconds at all levels. Ability now auto confirmed. So you just kind of click it, and when you release, I believe that is what that means. How it auto confirms. You don't have to click to teleport forward. So you know what? This makes me think he is more meant to be an in and out sort of brawler, high maneuverability with a wee bit of sustain in his Guardian's Shield, formerly Conversion Shield. Conversion Shield didn't make much sense terminology wise, so Guardian's Shield, now that makes more sense. Mana cost increased from 40 to 50, a little bit less. You're going to be able to use it a little bit less often, but you'll be able to use it faster. And the cooldown's been reduced from 8 seconds to 7 seconds. General balance, his mana has been decreased quite a bit. 276 to 248. Base mana regen decreased from 1.32 to 1.23. And movement speed reduced, now back in line to 700, where he was the outlier at 740. So you know what? Less mana regen. Yeah, you're going to have to pick your battles, go in and out, and kind of do your whole brawler thing. Really interesting kit rework. I didn't think he honestly needed one. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think of Feng Mao. He sounds pretty crazy. Here is the Gideon rework, ladies and gentlemen. New ability, instead of Burden, that kind of lock on, not really projectile that slowed people, he gets Void Breach. Gideon summons a comet projectile that pierces minions and deals 140, 240, 339, and 439 ability damage in an area. Holy boy, that's a lot of damage. So that is hopefully a shorter range ability that deals a good amount of damage, 439, but isn't as damage. It hopefully is more damage than the Cosmic Rift, because that's a lot of damage all of a sudden. And here is the nerf to Cosmic Rift. Damage adjusted from 140, 240, 339, 439, which you can see is the exact same as his Void Breach, to now probably what his Burden used to be. 117, 170, 222 to 275. Now applies a 20, 24, 28, 32% slow for 2 seconds. By the way, I love this percentage slow besides max movement speed. Units, because didn't really make much sense. The units are relative. This is, well, it's technically relative as well. It makes more sense, right? 32%. Oh, if I'm slowed by 100%, I'm not moving. 32, yeah. Slow for 2 seconds. So that is going to help you, I'm assuming, land your Void Breach. Part of Burden has been built into Cosmic Rift. I would have liked his Torn Space maybe to be just removed and him be a high damage mage with low mobility, and now he just teleports automatically before, like, as he uses his black hole, he just teleport up and into his black hole, and he could be more of a magey. But he is going to be a mage, but hopefully he no, it doesn't look like he had less health and stuff, so it's going to be interesting here. He's really damn good right now. So Cosmic Rift, that is going to be his weaker poke ability, and Void Breach hopefully is a shorter range, high damage ability. Makes him more of a mage, in my opinion, my way of defining what a mage is. Torn Space cooldown increased from 12, 10, 8, 6 to 12, 11, 10, 9. Love that change. He just had way too much mobility, and with this damage potential, he needs to sacrifice something, and if it's not going to be health, because there's no general balance, it has to be his Torn Space. Black Hole now applies a stun effect to all affected targets. It's almost impossible in the video to see if everybody's stunned for the whole duration. I don't know. It can be broken as usual. Cooldown increased from 130, 115, 100 to 150, 135, 120. That's significant. Damage reduced from 328, 450, 562 to 224, 304, and 384. That's a tremendous difference, but probably if you look at the effect the total effect of his kit now to what it's going to be, he can probably deal more damage more reliably through his Void Breach and Cosmic Rift. So that probably makes sense. Plus the fact that it stuns, the black hole stuns. Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see what Gideon, how he's going to play, what this kit is going to play like. I would hope you're not stunned for the entire duration. But I mean, who knows? I've heard things, community's heard things. Let me know down in the comments what exactly the stun on his black hole is all about. Here is Grux, ladies and gentlemen. New ability, Crush, that replaces his charge. He doesn't have a mobility ability, so you know what? You're gonna have to commit with Grux now. Crush. Grux lunges forward a short distance. It's looked like only a few steps, dealing 47, 70, 94, 117 ability damage, and a short duration knockup to enemies within 250 units of his destination. So it looks like within 250 units means it's actually a small AoE in front of you. The cooldown every 12 seconds, mana cost of 75, and replaces charge. So that damage, that's going to be another good source of burst with how his double pain and smash and grab are now going to work. So his double pain, now an attack that 100% cleaves, and also while dealing 120, 130, 140, 150% of Grux base damage. That's pretty darn good considering it's 100% cleave, plus 35, 40, 45, 50 bonus damage to all affected enemies. Holy cow. So not only does it deal increased percent of his base damage, and it's 100% cleave, and there's bonus damage on top of it, you can do it every 8 seconds. So that's going to hurt. Double pain is going to deal tremendous damage, plus, I mean, maybe it still has a bleed. Maybe there's no bleed. It says reworked. They don't say if it is still there or it's not. Maybe the fact that it's reworked means that this is all inclusive and there is no bleed. I don't know. That's going to deal some good damage, especially when you combine it with Crush, his smash and grab, and his ultimate, which will look pretty nasty. Smash and grab, it has been adjusted as well. The pull and damage are now synced up with the visual effect wave, so you aren't immediately pulled, you're only pulled when that wave actually hits you. The effective range has increased from 700 to 850, probably to help because there's that little bit of a delay as to when you're actually pulled. So it's a little bit longer, but you're not instantly pulled, you're pulled only when that wave reaches you. Mana cost is decreased from 90 to 60, probably because you're going to be using all of his kit as more of a kind of a bursty sort of deal damage sort of I'm here, fight me sort of a thing. So kind of need to use all those abilities, and the mana usage has to reflect that. His ultimate here, wow. Area, a bonus basic damage changed from a flat bonus to a percent increase, which is a bigger difference than you think because percent scales off of economy, whereas flat bonus, it doesn't, right? So you build him as damage, and Warlord's Challenge gets stronger. 50, 100, 150% bonus damage. Oh, on his basic attacks, that is absolutely insane. Area stun has been removed, so it doesn't provide a stun, which is actually huge. That is huge because you could use it to interrupt things. Interrupt a count assault on your carry. Interrupt a whole bunch of things. The duration has been increased from 8 seconds to 14 seconds because I think it's incentivizing you to stick in the fight because you don't have mobility now. You can't dash in and dash out. You're going to have to just sit there. I'm fighting you. Here it is. This team fight is mine. Let's go. Mana cost has been reduced. Probably just to help, again, make his whole burst kind of be able to happen. And the cooldown has been increased here from 90, 70, 50 to 110, 95, 80. Huge increase because, again, that's going to do a lot more than it did before. General balance, a huge change to Grux. Base mana decreased, mana per level decreased, base mana regen decreased. Maybe fighters here had too much to begin with. Now you're gonna have to pick and choose when you use your abilities. Base attack damage decreased from 68 to 65. Probably because all of his other abilities do a lot more damage now. Attack damage per level increased, though, from 2.9 to 4. Health per level decreased 85.8 to 77.2. Probably because, again, he's going to deal a lot more damage. Health regen per level decreased. Basic attack timer increased from 0.85 to 0.95. So the attack damage per level from 2.9 to 4 means that he's going to hit hard, and the basic attack timer increased means he's going to hit hard less often. So he, again, they're changing Grux to this low mobility, heavy hitting brawler, probably because you're going to want to build him with some health, because that health per level has decreased. So like, he's going to be a menace. Really heavy duty brawler, gets in there, gets a good damage. It looks like a fun playstyle. Kwang and Murdock, a little bit just of tweaks here. Heaven's Fury will no longer activate multi-shot gem. Wow. So that's good that that's out of there. And Murdock, just some odd things have been changed, but there's going to be some controversial things in here, and I want you to let me know what you think. Plasma Bolt, that's just as basic, and that's what it does now anyways. So I don't know why they put that in here. Buckshot increased the knockback effect. Maybe it didn't do too much. I mean, it did its effect. It got people out of melee range, but maybe it didn't do enough. So, okay, that is fair. Knockback now also affects minions. Be able to push back minions, which makes it... I kind of like that. You know, an enemy's trying to get through to you in the safe lane, and you buckshot them back. Well, now the minions are going to travel with them, so if they're body blocked by the minions, they'll also be like, so just some interesting things that are going to happen there. Targeting mode updated, be more forgiving up close. It was pretty weird. Sometimes it just didn't work, and you swear it would have / should have. So that's interesting. Visual effect polish, again, just increasing that fidelity of the game. Corrected an issue which would cause the effect to shoot off to the sides. I'm pretty sure that was featured in an A-Lit video. It's pretty hilarious. Improved quick cast interaction of Buckshot while Plasma Bolt is held down. So you can just kind of be basic attacking and then also Buckshot at the same time. Hot Pursuit ability has received updated visual and sound effects. I think this is the one. I'll leave that for you to discover. It's pretty sick. The first time you guys experience this, maybe you guys know, I don't know. It's amazing. Ability has had technical hardening and should fire more reliably. Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of another. Nope. No, I am thinking of this. Never mind. Has a technical hardening and should fire more reliably. There has been some issues where it just didn't work, and that's simply can't be the case. Shots fired, visual effects have been updated, and Long Armored Law, this might be the controversial one. Reduced delay upon firing Long Armored Law to improve ability responsiveness. It was already reduced from Legacy, and I actually don't think that they reduced the delay when they upped movement speed again on Monolith. So you know what? Maybe this is technically true. Maybe this is technically correct. It hasn't been, tweaked for the new movement speed on Monolith. For the second time. I don't know. It's a hard thing because it's a skill shot, but when a skill shot becomes so reliable, it doesn't become a skill shot anymore, right? The whole point of a skill shot is, it just depends on how hard you want to make it. Do you want it to be always consistent? Because then it's not much of a skill shot, it's just a skill shot. So, there is that sometimes you should miss, sometimes you shouldn't, because it's a skill shot. And I don't know let me know, guys, what you guys think. I think this is going to be a topic of hot debate, to be honest. Rampage, the man, the guy who I'm actually kind of good with his boulder throw for some reason. So now we're going to see new ability called Rumble instead of Pounce. Rampage pounds the ground with both fists. And you see that very briefly while he is enraged in the video, dealing 94, 152, 211, and 269 ability damage between 2 hits, and applies a 25, 30, 35, 40% slow to all nearby enemies for 2 seconds. Cooldown, 7 seconds, mana cost of 50. So there's an active that is probably going to be on your right click because it replaces pounce. Doesn't really matter, but going to provide him a good burst of damage, because you see in the video he swipes pretty darn fast and slows. Again, if he gets on you without that move, without that mobility, he's gonna have you slowed for all nearby enemies for 2 seconds. So that's a good disruption for when Rampage gets into the fight as the frontliner. Now, boulder throw, Rampage can now hold the boulder until it is cancelled or thrown, but Rampage moves more slowly while holding the boulder. So it's going to leave the choice more up to you. Do you know, are you going to run around with that boulder for that perfect time, or do you run around with normal movement speed and have to take into account his animation? I kind of like that. No longer costs mana when the ability is cancelled. That, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. There was an issue where Rampages could just pick up the boulder and just hold it for no, and there was no issue with it. You would see Rampage supports way back when just pick up the rock and they would just keep picking it up. They would just keep picking it up. And as a offlaner, you're like, I am now forced to stand under tower because I have no idea when I'm going to get rocked and just destroyed. I don't know. That problem probably is not going to exist now, but I don't know. I think there needs to be some additional, punishment, I guess. Has to be a payoff, but I mean, you're slowed while holding it, so I don't know. Mana cost decreased from 100, 115, 130, 145 to 90 and 120. A little bit of, looks like a little bit of 10 to 15% decrease there. Maybe his mana cost seemed a little bit high. I'll leave that for you to judge. King of the Jungle, passive health regen increased from 0.751, 1.25, 1.5 to 1.4, 1.8, 2.2%. Wow. And bonus damage duration increased from 5 to 8. I thought that damage duration was actually a little bit low. So actually I like that. Makes him just a little bit more, like, you kind of use it. There's this animation, you waste time, and then his kind of slow basic attacks, and then it just didn't really seem like doing much. That seems a little bit apt, but this health regen is insane. Now he is much more tanky, I would say. Increased, his Enrage has also been increased regeneration gained from King of the Jungle from 3, 4, 5, 6 to 5, 7, 9, 11. Almost double, and the mana cost has been decreased 50, 25 to 0. Rumble's radius is increased and his cooldown is reduced from 7 to 3 for the duration of Enraged. Oh my goodness! Not only is it okay, so wow. His King of the Jungle has been buffed by a third, and his Enraged has been increased almost, it's almost been doubled. So a third and then doubled. Oh my goodness, math. 6 times stronger? No, that's not right. 3 times stronger. That is an incredible buff that costs no mana in the late game and increases the Rumble's radius and reduces its cooldown to like basically nothing. That is incredible. He is going to be insanely tanky and deal quite a bit of damage here with his Rumble as long as they have the mana. So he looks like a very, very, very good tank. That can also be very much a harassment as well. Basic damage, basic defense increase from 27.8 to 31. So there's a 3, 4, probably a 3% increase-ish to his basic damage mitigation. Move speed increased 695 to 705, probably to help him kind of just move around just a little bit faster, kind of be that good frontliner that he definitely is now more meant to be. Base health increased from 686 to 733. He's a tank, ladies and gentlemen. Health per level increased 75.5 to 78, and base health regen increased as well. He is a tank, baby. And while this does a pretty good amount of damage, it does cost mana. And as a fighter with not much mana, you're going to have to be a little bit more careful. You know, yes, Boulder Throw has mana decrease, but I mean, it's only 25. So I think, you know what? He's a tank. He's a heavy duty frontliner that isn't going to be as countered by Blight as much. I mean, Blight is still is still percentage, but he's still going to get more from this even when blighted. So you know what? He's a heavy duty tank that can just harass and slow whoever the heck he wants. Riktor and the Twinblast rework. Oh boy. Riktor corrected an issue in which Electrocute could appear invisible to Riktor. It would just go invisible. You still see the damage, but that is just nice polish. And Twinblast, new ability called Hot Shot that replaces his triple shot or his rapid fire. It's a passive. After hitting 12 basic attacks, the next 12 basic attacks will critically strike for 10, 15, 20, 25% bonus damage. And lock to heroes. Hot Shot's critical strike damage applies to structures. Oh my goodness. After hitting 12 basic attacks on anything, ladies and gentlemen, the next 12 basic attacks will critically strike for bonus damage and lock to heroes. Is that auto aim? I'm not sure if that is going to be the case. Last 10 seconds if not consumed, so you have a certain amount of time to actually use those basic attacks. This obviously replaces his triple shot. Double shot is now his new basic attack. Twinblast fires his right gun, then follows up with his left. The bullet from the right gun applies on hit effects and deals 75% of his normal basic damage. The bullet from the left gun does not apply on hit effects and deals 25% of his normal basic damage. So his left bullet kind of is not even a basic attack, it just deals damage. It doesn't count as a hit, it just deals damage, which is really weird because it kind of doesn't exist, but it exists only in damage. Which I mean, if you want to go with Trapper, for example, it's only going to apply from one bullet. And you know what, Trapper with this new double shot would be completely broken. And I'm really happy that that they did that. This is much more needed than I think maybe you would think. Very interesting. So as you can see in the video, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. You do this double shot, bang bang, bang bang, bang bang, and with attack speed, those are only gonna happen faster. Grenade. Twinblast fires a grenade that explodes after bouncing or hitting an enemy, which you kind of didn't see in the video, but I'm sure once in game you can play with that. Dealing 47, 70, 94, 117 ability damage, and applies a movement speed slow for 1 second. The grenades have 3 charges. Maybe that makes sense. Grenade, when a grenade goes off by you, yeah, you're maybe a little bit kind of concussed from it. So the movement speed slow maybe makes sense, but utility on a carry has me very wary, and maybe that's going to be crazy. You know, 24 movement speed slow on a grenades that you save up, plus maybe you still run Trapper. I don't think somebody's getting away from you, man. I don't think you're getting away from Twinblast now. Rocket Dash. Activating Rocket Dash now grants 1 charge of grenade. Oh, improved Rocket Dash to more accurately travel the full 650 unit distance. Interesting. So you're going to have to upgrade it more to actually travel that distance. It helps him in the early game because this slow in the early game is going to be crazy in the safe lane. So it makes sense that he doesn't have pardon me, full movement speed in the early game. Ventilate now deals damage faster, and it has minor homing properties. Like, maybe makes sense. It's almost a little bit impossible to land anyways, and kind of doesn't deal much damage, period. So just to make the ability a little bit more viable, I kind of like that. It sounds really fun. Twinblast sounds a lot of fun. I'm just a little bit worried for this movement speed. Plus, I mean, yeah, the left bullet still doesn't apply on hit effects. That's going to be a huge change for Twinblast. All right, here are the cards and gems, ladies and gentlemen, as we went very in-depth with the heroes, and I hope you appreciate it. Now, here is a changed call of the week. To call of the week. No longer executes minions below 20% max health. Instead, it increases minion execution thresholds by 50 health. If you want more information on that, go into part 2 of the video, as that's where we're going to have a pretty big discussion on exactly what the heck this means. Basically, you execute minions when they're below 20% health. What this does is simply increases what that 20% is. Go and check, or whatever that percentage is. It just increases that, makes it easier to execute already. Go check out the video. It's a pretty big discussion. Lord Volstock, reduced gold lost every 10 seconds from 80 to 80 to from 100 to 85. Basically, it wasn't worth it. I don't want to say I don't want to say that my math video kind of proved that, but it kind of did. It just wasn't worth it, period. So that is a good change to see. I'll have to do a updated math video for that. Knowledge, static trap now also deals 50 ability damage to the rooted target. I'm not sure exactly what that means, because it already does 100 ability damage to the target, so I don't know. Does it deal 50 damage more to the target once it is stopped rooted? I'm not sure. So this doesn't make too much sense to me. Let me know down in the comments what this means. Chaos Thorned Yomi now properly reflects damage dealt from cards. That's good, because it's still damage coming from you. The Thorned Yomi, it says, reflects, 65% of damage taken. And, cards deal damage for you, so you need to you need that reflected as well. Tireless Reaper fixed an issue where it would not reduce the mana cost of the next ability cast if purchased while dead. Obviously, that's a big issue. I would like to see Tireless Reaper be updated so that abilities that cost no mana, so for example, Revenant's Hellfire rounds where you reload, that procs Tireless Reaper, and there's a few other abilities that are kind of like that. It procs Tireless Reaper, and it shouldn't. Any mana cost to you should proc Tireless Reaper, not necessarily ability usage. So, I would like to see that reworked a little bit. So if you happen to use mana somehow, like maybe even it should work on Zinx's ultimate, I think that would be a more pertinent rework, be a little bit more focused. All movement speed slows and speed boosts have been converted from flat values to comparable percentages. We've seen that this whole time, and I love it. It makes much more sense. Like, what's 1,000 units? What's 500 units? What's 125 units slow? Like, right? Like, is it you travel 1,000 units in 1 second of travel? Like, so it doesn't make sense. Percentages makes much more sense. Polish and bug fixing, damaging aura cards now properly put the card owner in combat. So sometimes you could use, for example, Glycerin Dawn, and you wouldn't be in combat. Although it's not an aura card, something like Withering Shadow, you would not be in combat. One thing I have to mention is that Possessed Sprykin has not been changed. Maybe Possessed Sprykin is a symptom of an issue, and it's not the root cause. But you know what? Later on in these patch notes, maybe my worries will be quelled. But you know what? Right now, Possessed needs a change. Game times need a change, because I don't want 15-minute games, 18-minute games, 17-minute games, which has absolutely been happening. It's just a waste of my time. And the last thing here is a spell shield will no longer be removed when Greystone blocks a basic attack with his deflect ability. Not sure the weird interaction there, but glad that they removed that. There you guys go. Very in-depth look at the overview, heroes, and cards. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think. Twinblast, he sounds like a lot of fun. That movement speed slow sounds pretty darn scary to me, especially when you can have 3 grenades. three grenades plus a rocket dash. So you use one to slow somebody, you rocket dash forward to stay within range, and then you have 3 more grenades for 24% slow. Basically 4 full seconds of movement speed on the target. Plus maybe you have Trapper anyways. Oh boy. That sounds really, really powerful. Rampage looks like an amazing tank. Now, Murdock just hopefully will work a little bit better, but the long arm of the law, you know, and Grux, he sounds so deadly. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, because I am super duper hyped. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it, share it to the community, and of course, guys, subscribe. If you guys like this content, especially if you found it useful, please subscribe. Got a ton of content coming. Please check the video description for links to my website, merchandise store, and Amazon affiliate link as well. It's all my social media right here. Till next time, like always, guys, stay optimistic and positive.